6 has concluded, as has the 30 for 30 for National Podcast Post Month, but there were a couple I just couldn't leave out of this that I really still wanted to share with you. So I'm bringing you a couple bonus episodes. 4, as a matter of fact. And this is the first one. If you're a fan of the television show Last Man Standing, which at the time was on ABC, now currently on Fox and is going to be going into its final season, you're familiar with the two guests that we're rewinding back to this time. Nancy Travis, who is an amazing actress. You've seen her in a ton of other stuff too, including one of my favorite movies, So I Married an Axe Murderer. And Molly Ephram, who played one of the daughters on Last Man Standing, who unfortunately was not able to make the return to the series when it returned to Fox, so they had to recast the role, but she was still a great integral part of the series, and we got to speak to her when she was still on the show. And she's a local chick. She's local to where I live. She's from Bucks County, Pennsylvania, so we got to talk a little bit about that as well. So I hope you guys enjoy this one, the first of 4 bonus episodes for National Podcast Post Month. A little epilogue to Season 6 before we dive into Season 7 in a short period of time. My rewind with Nancy Travis and Molly Ephram. Enjoy. All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of the Showcast Spotlight here on the Next Level Network. I'm your host for this edition, Ben Beck, joined by my co-host, Adam Gorey, and our guest this week is someone who has been part of the ABC family for the past 5, now going on to her 6th year, which is always an impressive run when it comes to network television. She plays Mandy Baxter, and who is no joke, one of my favorite characters on one of my favorite shows. Not saying this just because she's on the line. It's very, very true. One of my favorite shows, Last Man Standing, which just aired its Season 6 premiere. Please welcome Molly Ephram. Molly, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
No joke, I have watched this show since episode 1. I've watched since the beginning, and your character very quickly became one of my favorites just because I laugh so much when with some of the stuff that Mandy does.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's not like me in real life, but it's great to be able to turn on sort of like the bobblehead, and and I get to wear pretty clothes, and they do my makeup and my hair all cute. So it's a nice departure from me in my regular life.
Yeah, that was actually something I was going to ask, too, as part of this is, Mandy is obviously a little ditzy. She's very diva-esque at times. But I know I've followed you on Twitter for the past couple seasons as well, and I know just from your Twitter account and your postings, you're very funny, and you're so far from Mandy.
Yes.
But how much of your real character do you think actually finds its way into Mandy when you're on screen?
I like to be silly and self-deprecating, and I think that there's some of that in Mandy. Look, she's not written to be sort of the sharpest tool in the shed, but I think that I never wanted to be disparaging about her or her intelligence or her lack thereof, so I think I like to inject sort of a wink and a nod when I'm doing a dumb bit, because I think she knows that she's saying something that's sort of ditzy or stupid. Sometimes maybe not. But yeah, I think there's a certain intelligence, and I notice that in girlfriends of mine sometimes. You can, say something that sounds a little dumb, but actually you know exactly what you're doing. Yeah. And I think she's one of those gals. And she's secretly a genius.
Yeah, and she's certainly found herself a partner in Kyle that's very similar.
Yeah. Well, what's funny, too, is I feel like, before Mandy and Kyle really made it official, I think Mandy's kind of dumbed him down in the relationship. One person, they always talk about like a straight man when you're, in a comedy, somebody's sort of the jokester and somebody's the straight man. And we get to do that for each other, Christoph and I. But yeah, sometimes he gets some real dumb ones in there. Yeah. Oh my God, he's so cute though. You can't help it.
Yeah, and it's so funny too because
perfect delivery.
You say that like you almost like Mandy almost kind of dumps him down a little bit. Is that really possible with Kyle? I don't really know for sure.
No, I don't know. I think what's so fabulous about Christoph and the way that he plays this guy is that he is 800% earnest in everything that he does and says. Like, you could not find a purer heart out there than Kyle.
Yeah.
So, it's like you love everything that comes out of his mouth. And Christoph is, in my mind, like just a total comedic genius. I can't stop laughing every time I'm working with him.
Yeah, and it's funny. You look at the personality of both Mandy and Kyle, and you know, from the very beginning of the show, Mandy and Kyle didn't end up together, I think, until around season 4, was it? They actually ended up together?
Yeah, maybe 3, 4.
Might have been around
I don't know. It's been a while.
but you look at these two characters, and from the very beginning, you don't realize how destined for each other they really are. You know, how perfect they are for each other since the beginning.
Exactly. Just birds of a feather.
Yeah. So the last time we saw your character in season 5, Mandy was moving forward with her fashion business. She was planning her marriage with Kyle. And now I think the way the season ended, there are plans for both of you to move in back with your parents. What kind of things do you think we can plan to see now out of Mandy for the coming season?
Well, what's funny is we get this question a lot, and we're not sort of beating around the bush or being facetious or anything. We really don't know. I genuinely don't know. I cannot say with any certainty what will happen for Mandy this year. I'm pretty sure she'll be getting married because I think we've set that one up.
Yeah.
And that's not like a spoiler alert. That's like we've been paving the way for that. But as far as the scripts go and where the season is headed, we as the actors don't get to know that until like the night before we start working on it, really. So in a small way, I mean, of course, we're shooting the episodes and then they're airing a couple weeks after, so we know more than you do as viewers. But in a small way, we're also kind of along for the ride, finding out what's happening up with these characters and where they're headed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it's the show's, everybody who's seen Home Improvement from back in, I guess it was the 90s, the show obviously has a somewhat comparable type of kind of storyline to it. But I know you're about the same age I am, and I remember my parents always watching Home Improvement when I was younger and everything like that. And obviously that's part of the draw for the show with Tim Allen, this being like his, I don't know, when it first came out, I don't know that, when I first saw it, I didn't expect it to be as successful as it is, and it's great to see. So were you kind of a fan of Home Improvement growing up as well, or did you not really get to check it out too much?
So funnily enough, I had never seen an episode until we started shooting Last Man. My brother and I did not watch a lot of TV growing up. We were not allowed to, not like in a strict off-the-grid kind of a way, more like in a Sesame Street PBS only kind of a way, and kind of limited TV viewing. So, yeah, as a result, like I'm missing a lot of pop culture references from the 80s and 90s, Home Improvement being among them. So I have a ton of girlfriends that are madly in love with JTT, and were just chomping at the bit to come and see him in episodes of our show. And like dying to be introduced. I was like, yeah, sure, he's a sweet guy. So the Home Improvement stuff like just doesn't land for me, but it's pretty funny that in a lot of ways now I'm a part of this show that has that same kind of appeal and comfort and like good homey family feelings as Home Improvement did. So it's fun for me to get to be a part of that zeitgeisty thing,
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's almost like the Home Improvement of this generation, and you are actually, funny enough, mentioning JTT. You're kind of like the JTT of this generation. You're the middle one, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So
I feel like on the one episode that I saw, I was like, oh, little JTT, he was like such a little smartass, and I am not doing that. But yeah, I'm in the middle slot.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, maybe part of the reason, growing up, you didn't get a chance to watch too much of it. I know you were big into in the theater growing up, and I know having that background, it kind of gives you a little bit of room to do a lot of different type of work. And I know you did, before you hopped on with Last Man Standing, you did the second Paranormal Activity movie, and then Obviously, you did the marked ones, I think, about 3 or 4 years after that. I'm kind of curious, when you did the first one, was there any kind of different approach you took going into the marked ones after you've kind of had a show like Last Man Standing under your belt for a few years, and doing that kind of work for a while? Did you take any different approach between the two?
No, I don't think so. What was funny about the Paranormal 2 is it was largely improvised. It was the first sort of sequel in that series, and so they were trying to come up with a way to make something seem as naturalistic as the first one, but also have kind of a plot line that followed through. So it was really sort of experimental filmmaking in a Paramount movie, which I now have come to understand is pretty rare and weird. But in a lot of ways was theatrical because we had cameras that were mounted, so you didn't have to worry about duplicating any kind of performance or getting another shot from another angle or whatever. For the marked ones, it was definitely more scripted, although Chris Landon, the writer of that one, is a good buddy of mine and said, just kind of feel it out. I'm playing the same character. So, I was sort of back to just give some background information on ghosts and the research that my character has done. It was mostly just a blast for me to come in for a day and see the crew and the people who worked on our movie, because all the paranormal movies essentially had the same crew throughout.
Okay.
So it was nice to connect with them.
Okay. I know we're running a little short on time with you, but I know we've talked a little bit about your upbringing in the theater and such, and you mentioned not watching TV and such. We'd be remiss if we didn't mention this. We are actually in the Philadelphia area, which is where you are from.
Whoa! Yeah, from Bucks County.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm down in Delaware County. Adam is in
Lehigh County.
Lehigh County, that's what I thought.
Oh, cool.
You obviously, you live out in LA now due to the shooting of Last Man Standing and such. Do you make it back here to the Philly area often?
I do, yeah. My brother lives in Philly. My folks are still in PA. So I get back a fair amount. And my mom for years is like, I don't want to deal with East Coast winters anymore. And every year we have a steep driveway at my parents' house, and every year they get snowed in, and there's no power, and my mom's just like cursing herself out, living in 50 degrees inside the house. I'm like, just come to LA. I live here now. Come on out. But yeah, I do like to go home and see everybody and sort of be in the middle of nature. That's what I like about it.
Yeah.
Are you the Bucks County down like by Levittown or up by like Quakertown or middle like Doylestown?
More like Doylestown.
Oh, okay.
Doylestown area. Mm-hmm.
So the East Coast winters out here are rough, and right now we're getting ready to hit like an Indian summer because we're going to be into like the warm temperatures through December, which I don't like. I like the winter temperatures around the holidays, so it kind of sucks.
I know. I miss it in theory, and then when I come back for Thanksgiving or Christmas breaks or something, I'm like, oh, it's so nice, and then I just hit that mark. I'm like, I don't want to be wet anymore. I don't need this slush. This is ridiculous.
You can only miss it for so long.
Exactly.
So, but obviously we want to send people to check out Last Man Standing. It's Fridays at 8 o'clock, 7 Central. Your Season 6 premiere just debuted, or you just premiered last night when our listeners are starting to listen to this. And I'm looking forward to another great season. Adam brought up Home Improvement earlier on, and it's funny because when the show first started and I heard the premise of it, I was calling it Home Improvement 2.0. Same premise, 3 daughters instead of 3 sons, outdoorsman instead of a handyman. But the show has really, in the time that it's been on, has really grown to have its own identity, and it's separated itself from Home Improvement, which I'm actually very happy to have seen, and which is why, while Home Improvement was one of my favorite sitcoms, Last Man Standing is too, and while there are some similarities, it's definitely different, and I still enjoy it, so I'm looking forward to seeing what this 6th season brings.
Yeah, it's catching up, too.
Thanks.
Catching up to the same number of seasons, so that's great to see.
Yeah, Home Improvement.
I know. It's pretty wild. I mean, pun intended, it's like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I think that Tim kind of knew that about, like, this premise works. And he wanted, with the vlogs, he always wanted a a part of the show where he could kind of break that fourth wall.
Yeah.
So yeah, I of course the comparisons roll in, but on the other hand, we're on a show for 6 seasons, and in this day and age, it's sort of rare. So it's great that people have connected with this thing and felt like, oh, that reminds me of this other show that I used to watch and really love.
Yeah, exactly. Real quick, it just came to my head, and I know we gotta let you go, but
okay.
I'm a huge fan of Tim's. I have to imagine that's just got to be a fun experience.
It is. He's a crazy person. He it takes a lot to get him to settle down and work on the scene because he just wants to play around and goof off and do his own bits. Often they are more blue than would be allowed on an ABC TV show. Blue being, a little off color. But it's a blast. He's fantastic and very gracious, and we're all so happy and lucky to work with the guy. Anybody ever ask him to do any Buzz Lightyear lines while you're on set? Oh, absolutely. Me, all the time.
There you go.
I think I asked him before if he would do my outgoing message as Buzz, and I still have to follow up on that.
There you go.
Because I think that'd be fun,
That'd be awesome. I'd love to have that.
Yeah.
But we're going to send people your way on Twitter, at Molly Ephram on Twitter, and of course, at Last Man ABC, which is the Twitter account for Last Man Standing. We encourage our listeners to follow both. As we mentioned, Fridays at 8, 7 Central on ABC. Molly, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap this up, this Showcast Spotlight, but we'll be back for another one in just a little bit. Welcome, everyone, to another Showcast Spotlight here on Next Level. I am Ben Beck, joined this time by Steve Richards, and tonight we're joined by yet another cast member from ABC's hit sitcom Last Man Standing. A couple weeks ago, we had the opportunity to speak with Molly Ephram, and tonight we have the pleasure of speaking with, again, a cast member from Last Man Standing, now currently in its 6th season. Please welcome to the spotlight the lovely Nancy Travis. Nancy, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. My pleasure. So great to be on. I didn't even know that you guys had talked to Molly. She's from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, we had a little bit of some local conversation with her when she was on. I think she's from the same area too, because we're in the Philadelphia area, and she's from I think Bucks County.
Yeah, so, she is. Yeah, so nice.
Yeah. Are you familiar with the area? Have you been to Philly at all?
I have been to Philly. I don't know the area well. I actually grew up in Massachusetts, Framingham, Massachusetts. And so East Coast kind of gets glommed together for me now that I'm living in California. So,
okay.
I'm not familiar with the area, but maybe I'm closer to the area when I was growing up than I am right now.
Yeah, it's close enough. I mean, we're the same way, tri-state area, Jersey, PA, Delaware, Maryland, Northeast. It's all the same to us.
Yeah.
It's all the same kind of weather in the winter.
Yes, which is actually, aren't you guys having a heat wave right now?
Yeah, we're like mid-80s right now for mid-October, which is kind of strange.
Wow. Yeah, it is strange. We're having a heat wave right now. It's 100 degrees today. So
wow.
A little strange for October, but we have it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're in California, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, 100 degrees in October. That's crazy.
I know, but we don't get that. We don't have 100 degrees now. Now it's, well, what we really want is rain. If it was 100 degrees and pouring rain, we'd be happy with that, but we don't have that.
Yeah. So let's talk a little Last Man Standing. Obviously, as I mentioned, you guys are in your 6th season, and I believe we've had about, is it 4 or 5 episodes have aired so far for the season?
Yes, I think it is. I think this is the 6th episode about to come on, I think. But
coming up this Friday.
I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah. And I have to say, too, this is something that we spoke to Molly about, too, and I was a huge fan. I got on board with Last Man Standing because I was a huge fan. First off, I'm a huge fan of Tim's, and I was a big fan of Home Improvements. So, of course, when I found out he was coming back to television, I jumped right on board. And I'm such a fan of Last Man Standing at the same time. I'm so happy I'm so happy that it's still on. And I was very happy when I found out we were going to talk to you, because one of my favorite things about Home Improvement was the family dynamic, with Tim and Jill or Tim and Patricia, and it seems like you and Tim with Mike and Vanessa kind of have that same kind of family dynamic, which I love.
Great. I know Tim was also a creator on the show, and I know he loved doing Home Improvement, and in a lot of ways that was a seminal show. It ran for a long time, and it was huge and garnered huge ratings, and so he wanted to sort of capture that notion of a true family sitcom about a family, and he wanted it to be a real family, a married couple that actually loves each other. They're still intimate together. They care about their family. They're trying to get through the day, and they're trying to solve real problems and not always feel like you have to come up with the perfect answer in 22 minutes. I mean, sometimes things are left unresolved. And I think, especially this past season, what the show has done really well is been able to bring up complicated topics and have a discussion among characters, and just come down with, well, you have your opinion, and we can still care about each other and love each other, and it's all good. So, that's partly what I love about the show, is it's more nuanced than a lot of stuff that you see.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned too, Home Improvements ran for such a long time, and it ran for 8 seasons. You guys are currently in your 6th.
Cannot believe it. And in fact, Tim will tease me because after the first season, I thought, oh my God, we are not going to make it. I talked to a psychic, and I said, is my show going to get picked up because I'm having a good time, but it doesn't look good? I don't know. We're a Fox show airing on ABC, and what's going to happen? And at the time, the psychic said, oh, yeah, you're going, you have many, many years on this show. I said, no, come on, no, this show, the one I'm doing right now, are we going to get picked up? And she said, yes. So whenever the negotiations have seemed, can you hear my dogs barking in the background?
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
Yes, it's a raid. So let me just close this door. Hang on.
Sure.
I don't even know if that's going to help, but we'll see. So what was I saying?
Oh, you were talking about your psychic and...
Oh, the psychic,
yeah.
Right. So I actually went in one day and I spoke to Tim, and he said, I don't know, it's going to be difficult to get picked up. We'll see what happens. And I said, but the psychic said, so he's always teasing me at the end of the season saying, what did the psychic say? You need to go back to the psychic. We've got to find out what's happening.
What an LA thing to do, to go to a psychic.
It's such an LA thing to do. I know. And you'd think I would ask about, how much longer am I going to live? But no, I want to know if my show is going to get picked up.
Yeah, I think this was the first time, you've done a lot of television and film, but I think, is this the first series you've been a part of that's actually made it and surpassed 100, that celebrated its 100th episode?
Yes. I've done a lot of TV and feature film work before that, and the series that I've done have always seemed to go about a year and a half and then be done. And then Becker, of course, went longer, but I wasn't on that for the whole time. I was only on it for a year and a half.
Yeah, you came in, I think, towards the end of that series.
Yeah. So once we got past a year and a half on this, I thought, well, the curse has been broken and we're golden. So that's a good thing.
You mentioned Tim, too, and how he jokes around. I have to imagine, and Molly kind of confirmed this, too, but I have to imagine he has to be one of the most fun people to work with on set.
He is a lot of fun. I think first of all, I admire him tremendously, and I have learned a lot from him working with him, just in how to be comfortable with comedy and frankly, how to be funny. I'm always asking him, how can I make this work? And he is ready to help. But he is a very opinionated guy, and he has stories about everything. And there's a lot of stuff that's off color, and he's not afraid to say what he thinks and feels, and often spin it in a funny way. So we're often listening to him go off and expound about something that sometimes we're charmed by, and sometimes we really don't want to hear.
Well, I was a Home Improvement fan as well, and he certainly threw off, because you're getting prepared, or you've already filmed it, but the next episode that's going to air is the Halloween episode.
Yes.
So you have to wonder if he's like that in real life, because certainly with the Home Improvement stuff, like the Halloween episodes that they did, was some of the bigger episodes, and obviously you guys have episodes dedicated to Halloween as well. So is it like a festive type of thing? He likes to kind of joke around and have fun there?
Oh yeah, definitely. And I will say, I mean, as I said earlier, a lot of our episodes deal with bigger issues, and we talk about them. The Halloween episode is a complete romp. It's just a goof, and it's fun, and it's a little off the charts crazy. So it should be fun to watch. We're all excited to see it because we all I don't know if you know this, but in this episode, I want to have the annual Halloween party, and Tim's character does not. He's sick of it. He doesn't want to have it, so he thinks the solution is to force us to all dress up as each other, and that will be so unpalatable that we'll end up hating Halloween and never want to do it again. And it works to a certain extent because we dress up as each other and then start sort of becoming the worst of each other and bickering. And then there's some news that comes in the episode that kind of dampens all our spirits, and everyone rallies and comes back together at the end.
Yeah.
But, Tim is sort of the puppet master in the episode, and he does that dressed as Donald Trump. So I don't know if I'm giving anything away here, but it's funny. It is really funny.
It's funny that you bring up the whole Donald Trump thing, too, because I've read articles before the season even started, and I'm assuming it's kind of true to life in that the show kind of does reflect a lot of Republican views as the show goes on.
Yeah, I think though. I mean, what the show has tried really hard to do is be balanced. So, in the fact that it shows any Republican views or conservative views at all is kind of unique for what's on television right now. I don't think there are many shows that show any conservative points of view at all. So I hesitate to even say it's a Republican show or it's a Trump show or it's anything like that, because we definitely present liberal points of view. But as I said before, we present these points of view and there's a dialogue and you come away with what you come away with. But it is kind of an outlier. I mean, I think a lot of what's on TV is definitely very liberal-minded and progressive-minded, and it's the one show that's like, I mean, we have hunters in our show, which for me, who's a big animal advocate, it drives me crazy, and I can't stand it. But that's what we are telling stories about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even the Republican or the conservative point of views or any political point of views that the show has, it's always done tongue-in-cheek. It's always done with a sense of humor. So I don't think it's anything that anybody who's watching the show should ever be offended by.
No, not at all. And also, I mean, we have the one character, Ryan, who is the liberal point of view. And it's also a lot of what he does is an extreme, and it's tongue-in-cheek. And I think the real issue is we're presenting these things, and this is how people are trying to get through the day and live their lives and make do for their families. And and frankly, I mean, we get a lot of humor out of it. A lot of humor comes out of that conflict between the two characters.
Oh yeah, definitely between Mike and Ryan, absolutely.
Yeah, and he does these vlogs at the end of the show, and he loves to poke fun at, the Mike Baxter character. It poke fun at Hillary Clinton and liberals and things like that, and the audience eats it up. I mean, but people in the audience who are Republican or Democrat, they love it. It's hysterical.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So it's a lot of fun.
I know earlier on in your career, back when you first started, I think you started primarily on stage, did you not, before television and film?
I did, yeah. I started out in New York on stage doing plays and commercials. I mean, really, commercials were my first sort of taste of any kind of monetary success at all, and that was pretty good for me. And I was determined to stay in New York and never come out to Los Angeles. And ended up coming out a lot. Finally met my husband. You hear the dogs again. Sorry.
No, it's fine. Trust me, we've done interviews where people have had flat-out conversations with their pets while we've been talking to them.
Oh, my gosh.
So
I mean,
it's nothing.
if you could know that they're 3 rooms away, I mean, it is an amazing thing. Yeah, but so commercials, theater.
So was it
film.
Was it through the commercial work that you ended up making the transition into like television and movies?
Yeah, I mean, it was sort of one step at a time, a lot of waiting tables, and one step at a time. There was no exploding onto the scene for me. I mean, I did a lot of commercials, and then started doing little parts in TV movies and ABC after-school specials. I don't even know if you remember those. But it really step by step, little parts in movies and then bigger parts in movies, and then switching over to TV. And I've been fortunate because I've been able to work for all these years consistently, and I've never had to look back, so that's been good.
Yeah.
So just try to fit in a timeline. Where does all this fit in with the creation of the Naked Angels that you created? Also, just because I wanted to talk about the Naked Angels, but
yeah, that was a long time ago. That was right out of college.
Okay.
So I went to NYU, and a bunch of us graduated with these degrees in drama that were frankly worthless, and just tried to find something to do with ourselves. So formed this theater company in New York, and as cliche as it sounds, we had a friend who had an uncle who had a big space in the city, like a barn, and we put on shows. And that was a great bonding thing. And I'm still in touch with those people. Those people that were part of that group are still close friends, and we still stay in touch.
Well, was one of those people Frances McDormand? Like, I'm seeing this here. I don't know if she was, or how close you guys were related.
Yeah, she did some things, I think. And, I mean, Jeffrey Knopf and John Robin Bates, Rob Morrow. I mean, there were a lot of people, Fisher Stevens, a lot of New York actors, Gina Gershon. There are a lot of people involved then.
That's cool. So where does the name come from then? Because that's interesting.
I don't even know. I think it was, trying to think back. I think there was a member named Nicole who it had some kind of meaning, probably based on some poem or something that I can't recall. But, yeah, it has a meaning, but I don't even know what it is. Catchy, though. It's catchy.
Yeah, for sure. Do you? I know. We mentioned. You've done a bunch of television and a bunch of film. Is there one that you prefer over the other, or do they both hold both different, positives and negatives towards them?
I think. I mean, I always love to do a play. It's few and far between for me, but that always seems to be the getting back to your craft kind of grounding thing, because it's just you out there in front of an audience, and you get to be indulgent in the rehearsal process and all of that. But I kind of love all of it. I'm always happy to work, and I like working with different people and learning different things. It's an ongoing learning process. I like the immediacy of doing live television, sitcom television. We do record the show in front of an audience, and believe it or not, you rehearse one episode all week, and then as soon as you get it on its feet in front of the audience, it changes. And each audience brings its own personality, and the jokes either live or die, and you're really kind of out there. Mm-hmm. So I love that. I love that feeling. And it is as dogged as the rehearsal week may be, when we get in front of the audience, it really comes alive and becomes electric. And I know Tim feeds off of that, and his enthusiasm for that is infectious, and it's like showtime.
Yeah.
So I love that. And feature films are also wonderful. It's trying to tell intimate stories with a camera right in your face, and to really express something through that lens.
Yeah.
So different things.
I guess the live television too would also add back to you an element of the performing on stage as well, because again, you're in front of an audience, and whereas with a stage play, you do one complete run through the whole way through. There's no stopping,
right?
But and live TV, you can stop and redo a take or anything like that. So I guess it's kind of the best of both worlds.
It is the best of both worlds, and I mean, my ego coming as a stage actress doesn't. I hate when I go up or we stop. And Tim is a stand-up comic, so I mean, he loves to improvise and go off on tangents and chase the funny. So it's an interesting marriage here.
Yeah, because I've seen a lot of the outtakes from Home Improvement, so I know I can only imagine how he is in front of the audience.
Yeah, it's like tossing a quarter, the shiny object, and he goes, and the audience loves it. It reels them back in, and they just love it. So it's just tricky to follow him and stay in the same zone. But we just follow. We don't even try to get in line or get in front of him. We just follow.
It's one of those things, too, because I know if I ever lived out in L.A., I would try my best to just go to live tapings of television shows as much as possible. Because the only one I've ever been to was I went to a taping of The Tonight Show in New York, and that was fun. But I would love to be in the audience for a sitcom taping. It just...
Yeah, it's, honestly, I mean, having done a few of them, it depends upon the show. I will say I've been in sitcoms where it's gone 6 or 7 hours, and we had to release the audience because they were literally falling out of their chairs with boredom. So, and it's not this show, by the way. I mean, this show, we've got it down to a science, and it truly is like a show. We even serve pizza. It's great. But it could be a lot of different things. It depends on the people involved and the writing. I mean, you can't discredit the writing either because it really all rests in that.
Yeah. So wait, you serve pizza to your audience?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm coming out to LA and going to a taping.
I mean, we have a comic in the audience, a comedian who's keeping the audience warmed up and happy while we change costumes and things like that. We serve pizza. And then you have Tim also, whatever. So, and we get it all done in a couple hours. It's really pretty great. And these cameras, it's 4 cameras on proscenium stage, and it moves from set to set to set. And the audience can watch it on monitors, or they can just watch what's happening on the floor. And it's pretty fun. People enjoy it.
I'm coming out to L.A. just to go to a taping.
And there's prizes.
Everything. Is there a certain sense of pride that goes with making a live TV show work? Because I know I was listening to when even before the show even started, I was watching a Tonight Show appearance or something, and Tim was saying how it's live and nobody does it live anymore, and how he was proud that the show is a live studio audience. So is there like a certain, I guess, pride in getting the juice from the audience and making that work out?
There is definitely a sense of pride, and there is a sense of accomplishment because I think we make it look easy, but it's not easy. And I think there's certainly a sense of pride every time you can get an audience to laugh so hard that they feel like they're going to wet themselves. I mean, to reach people and be able to get them to laugh, that's an amazing thing. So I always feel really proud, and then I also feel like beating myself when they don't laugh.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a pivot. I don't know how to transition, so I'm not going to. But I was checking out your Twitter, and you mentioned the animal advocate stuff, and it seems like you're an advocate for a couple of different things on Twitter. I don't know if you want to go into it. You're more than welcome. I was just kind of intrigued by the fact that you use Twitter not only as like an interaction thing, but as like a platform as an actress, and if you think find that to be important and things like that.
I'm flattered that you're even saying that because I feel like, first of all, I'm such a novice and ignoramus when it comes to any of this stuff. And I've been coached by Molly and Amanda and Caitlin on the show because I just don't know what I'm doing. And they are all always admonishing me like, don't respond to people, what are you doing? But I literally just go through the feed and whatever sort of either appeals to me or makes me angry or whatever I like, I guess. But definitely a lot of animal stuff. I do follow PETA and am constantly retweeting that kind of stuff. And I love to read, so anything literary. I'm not that political. I mean, lately I've been sort of intrigued about Evan McMullen, wondering what he's up to. So, it's just sort of whatever
whatever
Yeah.
interests you.
Yeah. Was there something that intrigued you about because I'm an advocate, an animal advocate myself as well. So I was just interested in what might have had that click for you and what got you interested in PETA and all that stuff. Because I think it's great to have people with your kind of influence.
I've always loved animals. I mean, you can tell. You can hear my rescue dogs barking periodically through this. In fact, if you were looking for a nice segue, I could have just signaled them to bark, and that would have helped. And I just, I think in the last few years, I've seen how we treat animals and where our food comes from, and I've always loved elephants. I've visited Africa, and they're amazing, majestic beasts. And I just think cruelty in any form, people or animals, is very disturbing to me.
Yeah, we had I don't know if you're familiar with him or not, but we had interviewed earlier on this year. We had interviewed actor Paul Blackthorne.
I don't know him. No,
he's a British actor. He's on like the CW, like the comic book Arrow and the Flash and those kind of shows. But he's a big advocate for rhino. For saving the rhinos in Africa, and he does a lot of things like that. So we gave him a platform for that as well, and he was like thrilled that we were able to talk to him about it. And
wow, that's great.
And when we finally met him, and he was talking to us about it even more in person, and so like Steve, I mean, we're big into that as well. We don't.
I will say too, it wasn't that long ago, and I've always known about poaching and. Was at a loss as to how I could help or what I could do. And then it seems like in the last few years, and maybe it is because of social media, there's been such an outcry and a positive movement towards trying to stop it. I mean, a really aggressive movement towards trying to stop it. I mean, and it's baby steps compared to what is actually happening, but it's happening. And that's a good thing.
Yeah. So I know we're running towards the end of our time, but before we let you go, there was one thing I wanted to bring up, and I was racking my brain on how I wanted to bring this up, and the only way I could think of is to ask you if you would sell me some haggis.
Head, no, you're like a planet.
I have to say, I love so much So I Married an Axe Murderer.
Oh, cool! Thank you.
I'm such a fan of that movie. I've been a fan of that movie for years. I have a ton of friends who are fans of that movie, and they would never forgive me if I didn't bring that up and tell you how much we love that movie.
You belong to an elite cult because no one saw that movie when it was in theaters. Literally, no one, and that is. Possibly the one thing that I've done, the one piece of work that I've done that whenever people say, "Oh, I know you," it's So I Married an Axe Murderer.
It's from So I Married an Axe Murderer.
Yeah.
That movie is I mean, it's if you look at I try not to look at like like critic ratings and Rotten Tomatoes and things like that, and especially for cult movies like that I love because they always are on the lower.
It's been trashed. Yeah,
they're always on the lower end, and all of us are always like, these people do not know what they're talking about. It's such an underrated movie. It's so much fun, and I have to imagine that even the same with working with Tim, working with Mike Myers had to be a blast as well.
Well, he is the heart and soul of that movie, and. It is a testament to his genius as a writer also and a comedian because he a lot of what that movie is about is him. So it was kind of amazing. Mm-hmm. And the whole thing with him playing his father with the prosthetics, I know that was a battle and he won and it was great. He's great. So, he's pretty amazing. And I think it's the only thing that he's done where he actually plays a guy, like just a straight guy who's trying to get the girl.
Yeah, you're right.
Everything else, he's this caricature. And in this, he's a leading man.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
So, and it's a really good opportunity for him to shine as a leading man, too. And it's just a shame that he never really gets that opportunity too often because he's good at it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So that was fun. Anthony LaPaglia, Amanda Plummer, a lot of people in that. Phil Hartman.
Yeah, a lot of people, a lot of actors in that movie. I think Charles Grodin is a cameo in that film, and So many great roles. So yeah, so I would have never heard the end of it if I didn't bring that up. And just...
I'm so glad. Thank you.
Well, I know we're running short on time, but of course, Steven mentioned your Twitter, so we want to encourage people to follow you. You're at Nancy
Great. Yes,
A. Travis.
I need followers. Get them on there.
At Nancy A. Travis on Twitter. Last Man Standing is at Last Man ABC on Twitter. And, of course, Friday nights at 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock Central, currently in Season 6. We're such big fans of the show, so we want to encourage people to go and watch it.
On ABC. Yep.
And on ABC. And I'm as much of a fan of Home Improvements as I am. I'm keeping my fingers crossed you guys beat that record and you guys go longer than that.
Good. Me too. Well, me too. I'll ask the psychic.
Yeah, ask the psychic how long it's going to go, or if you're just going to beat Home Improvement, because then you're a success.
Great.
So, but Nancy, thank you so much for joining us. It's such a pleasure to talk to you.
Oh, thank you. My pleasure. Thanks.
All right, guys, stick around, or not stick around, but we will be back with another showcast later on down the road. So join us then. Thanks a lot.